Alan tells them they can't find any trace of where the viltrumites went. Until Mark realizes they went to Earth. Well, Mark was right, they did come to Earth. The hangar opens up and oh nah, you know it's serious when they synchronize their aura farming. Thragg then sends his viltruminions to Earth to wreak havoc. What the f***? Did they just generate a whole tsunami? Holy shit, man, they are not messing around. They proceed to cannonball into the city, then whoa, hold on. I know Thragg is a certified aura farmer, but Anissa, Thula, and Krieg too? Okay, I see you. We cut to Thragg looking down on all the destruction caused by his viltruminions, and he decides to join in. Turns out it was all a dream. Nolan talks to Mark, telling him when they reach Earth, they need to set up a warning system in case any unwanted viltrumites enter Earth's solar system. We cut back to Telescria, where we see Alan has been made leader of the coalition of planets. I mean, we already saw that from last episode, but I just had to clarify, you know. Zoe is straight up yapping, but Nolan and Mark Heike don't give a shit. The captain then informs them that they have reached Earth's solar system. Nolan then tells them to dock the ship behind the moon and quietly fly to Earth to avoid getting detected by the viltrumites.
Need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I don't need it.
Mark being Mark, he just doesn't care about being stealthy, so he just zooms to the planet. He finally reaches Earth and sees that there is no destruction anywhere. Hey, maybe the viltrumites didn't come after all. Mark wastes no time and zooms to see if there is anything wrong, but finds nothing. It's almost as if the viltrumites never came. Mark reunites with his mom, but can't chit-chat for too long since he has to go see Eve. He then turns around and oh nah! Is that Thragg? Never mind, Mark was just hallucinating. Bro, Mark had his ass whooped so bad, Thragg literally traumatized him. Mark flies off and we see Nolan come to talk to Debbie about how he changed and how it broke his heart seeing Oliver get hurt so badly. Then she says that he needs to have a heart for it to be broken. Damn! Debbie, look, I know he's killed lots of people and beat the living daylights out of Mark and dipped to a different planet and procreated with a bug that later on gave birth to Oliver. But like, you know, like, give him a chance, you know, he deserves a second chance, you know, like, from what I've seen, he's pretty good, trust me. Mark finally gets to Eve, and after they caught up, Eve tells him she stopped caring for herself since her powers stopped working, and she was really busy, but Mark didn't care about her gaining weight. Cecil is too busy searching for a way to find Robot and Monster Girl, but that clearly isn't working out. We then see Alan have his first meeting with the coalition, and it got so heated, this thing opened its eyes. We cut back to see Mark, Eve, William, and his boyfriend. Am I tweaking, or is she holding this dude's hand when her man is right in front of her? Yo, Mark, what is you doing, gang? We then find out Debbie and Paul broke up. Yeah, all Nolan has to do is hit the layup and he's in. Mark and Eve are chilling, eating their munch, and just talking about life until, oh my god, not another hallucination, bro. Look at Mark, he is petrified. But Mark finally snaps out of it and asks what she wanted to tell him. She then says that she had an abortion while he was gone. Damn, that's harsh. Nolan is standing in front of the crater, remembering the time when he pummeled Mark into the ground. Cecil shows up using his tax money eating teleportation device and asks Nolan if they won the war. And Nolan tells him they didn't really win the war, but they did destroy their home planet, which might cause them to come to Earth to get busy. Cecil is obviously pissed off, but Nolan tries to reassure him by telling him they could build a station that could detect viltrumite threat, and immediately send a message to Telescria and they could then send reinforcements. Cecil asks how long would it take for the reinforcements to pull up. Nolan says 2 weeks. Yeah man, Earth would get cooked in the span of an hour, and this dude talking about some 2 weeks. Cecil stresses even more after hearing that, but Nolan says,
I can stay.
Stay? Stay and do what exactly? Yo, he's lucky Cecil did not see what Thragg did to them, or else he would have been flaming Nolan's ass right now while wetting his pants. Nolan says he wants to make up for his mistakes and almost died out there, but Cecil just gives him the Zuko treatment and dips. We see Nolan come to the house to let them know he's going back to Telescria, and Debbie pulls up saying she's coming too. Hey, okay Nolan, I see you. Because honestly, she wants to be with Oliver and said she would do the same for Mark, you know, W mom. They're in space and Nolan invites Debbie to take a look at the view over Earth, and she's in awe. Whoa, calm down now. Now's not the time, bro. We see Mark talking to Cecil, and to be honest, I thought he would have been pissed about Cecil leaving Conquest alive, but he wasn't. I mean, I don't blame him, to be honest, considering what happened to him in episode 7. We cut to Mark stressing about how he hasn't been there for Eve lately, and that needs to change, so Eve reassures him and tells him to go fly around to cool his mind, which he does. We get some cool shots of him flying around, then on his way back, he comes to a stop. He sees Thragg aura farming as always, but it's just a hallucination. Never mind, I lied. The Viltrumites are actually here. Mark is remembering all the destruction that was caused by his dad in season 1 and rushed Thragg to deliver a mean punch. What? Nah, wallahi, what is this, man? This dude is unfazed, bro. Mark is in shock but keeps trying and still deals no damage whatsoever. Thragg then weaves both of his weak ass punches, then Lil bros him by pushing him off like 10 feet or some shit. Mark stops but wants to go back for round 2 because he clearly didn't realize the power gap between them is astronomical. But Thragg then tells him to stop and said he doesn't want any violence, he just wants to make Earth his home so they could repopulate their species. Mark disagrees at first, but let's be real, there's literally nothing Mark can do against Thragg right now. Yo Robert, you better have Mark gain all his aura back someday. And it better be against Thragg, not some shitty side villain. Thragg explains how his viltruminions have blended in, Lucan now goes by the name of Steve Harvey, Anissa hates human men, except for Mark. And General Krieg is already getting play. Mark finally agrees even though he didn't really have a choice to disagree from the beginning, and Thragg said that him and his viltruminions won't meddle with Earth's affairs and that this will be the last conversation that they have.